Ready?
Okay. So first off, congratulations on getting engaged. What inspired you to take the viewer behind a wedding in the video "Never Want to Live Without You"?
Well, the song came from a place of me wanting to spend the rest of my life with somebody. So when trying to come up with video concepts, it was just hard to go around that. I would try to think about something or try to think about concepts, and it just kept coming back to, well, that's really not what the song is about. So the song really reflects, you know, basically that plunge, that step, that this is the person I choose to spend the rest of my life with. That's why.
Okay. Secondly, naturally, congratulations on your new album, Lost in Time.
Thank you.
How much time is lost when preparing for a wedding?
Well, you know, I'm not. My fiance is the one who takes great pleasure in all of the minute details, and I'm just kind of like the person who comes in and says, "Yeah, baby, those flowers are good. Oh yeah, those tablecloths are good. Yeah, that's cool." So she's spending a whole lot of time doing it, and I'm just kind of coming in and giving my little last minute approval. So it's all good.
Okay. Nowadays, you constantly hear about breaking barriers and innovation in music. Your new album is inspired by 70s soul. In what way do you consider this breaking barriers?
Well, a couple ways. I mean, I think right now the music industry in general is going through some pretty confining barriers, and I think that especially in the R&B genre, there seems to be there's a lack of authenticity when it comes to music. I think there's a lack of instrumentalists actually playing on records, and I think there's a lack of vocalists who sing without the aid of having their vocals over processed or auto-tuned. And I think that it's a weird kind of it's weird that out of the box when it comes to music is thinking out of the box when it comes to music is to think to actually play the instruments and to actually sing. That's very strange, but I think what that could do is, I think when you think about an industry that's ailing and on its last, I won't say last leg, but is definitely limping, the music industry. I think some good medicine and a good remedy for that could be how about we give more time and more attention to the actual musicianship in making music. I think it could maybe turn things around a little bit. And so I'd like to think that Lost in Time is a record that is holding the torch for that kind of artistry, and hopefully record labels will take notice and invest in artists that want to really have more music in their music.
Right. You just finished a tour. How did it go? And are there any plans for another tour coming soon?
Yeah, I did a tour with Fantasia and Candy Burris. It was extremely enjoyable, successful. We had a lot of fun. The audience really found our voices and our unique performance styles to actually blend and go very well together. And I welcome the opportunity to work with either Fantasia or Candy again. I had a wonderful time, and I'm actually going to be doing an international tour in April. It's going to be Europe, mainly France and the UK, and Korea, Japan, and we may squeeze in a couple countries in there along the way. And then when I get back, I think in May, I'm going to do another domestic tour.
Okay.
Keep it locked at ericbenet.net, and once those dates become final, you can check them out.
Are there any personal goals that you want to reach as an artist?
I just want to keep getting better. You know, I mean, I think the biggest compliment for, at least speaking for myself, one of the biggest compliments for an artist is when people tell me that my stuff is classic or timeless. And I think, somewhere in the back of my mind when I'm in the studio, that's usually what I'm going for. I'm not really going for something that that radio is gonna love, oddly enough. When I'm in the studio, I'm trying to make something that I can imagine 50 years, from now, people still being able to relate to. And so I'm just trying to get better as an artist with every record I make.
Okay. When creating a track, do you have a set theme and pre-written lyrics, or do you just start with an idea and music first and just kind of go along with it?
Yeah, I don't really have. I usually just let the music dictate the theme. Usually, when I come up with an idea, it's like I'll hear this melody, and once I initially hear the melody, I can hear how the musical arrangement should go around that melody, and then it's usually a race to try to get some version of that recorded before, start forgetting it. And once I have a foundation of some kind of a musical blueprint for this song, then the lyrics just start coming. The melody dictates what the lyrics are saying and how they're saying it, and it's a really interesting process. But it's strange that when coming up with a melody, sometimes I get married to certain vowel sounds, because I'll start singing a scratch melody, and there may be some words in there that may or may not be used, and if they aren't real words, they're vowel sounds. And sometimes I get married to those vowel sounds, so I find myself trying to find words that match this vowel sound that I'm married to, which, I try not to do. That's, maybe that's too much information, but anyway, next question.
How do you define good R&B, and in what way has R&B developed since your debut album?
I define good R&B that really comes from someone's soul and someone's experience. I define good R&B that uses dope musicians playing the hell out of a track, and I think good R&B, vocally, you have to be able to hear in the voice that's recorded, you have to be able to hear the pain or the joy or the confusion or whatever the lyrics are trying to portray. And, like I was saying before, I just think when vocals are too processed and too auto-tuned and perfect, it's kind of hard to feel those emotions. And how do I think R&B has progressed? I really don't think it's progressed since my debut record. I think there have been artists out there that when I listen to what they call R&B today, it doesn't really feel like R&B. In more cases than not, it feels kind of like techno influenced hip hop with somebody singing auto-tune on top of it. And I think there are a few artists out there that probably have the same philosophy or similar philosophy that I do, that that's not really touching my soul. I want to go into the studio with somebody who can really play the drums and somebody who can play the hell out of a Rhodes or a piano and a guitar, and let me just wail on top of that track. And I think that's a good start for good R&B.
Lastly, what is a typical day like for you? I know, you just done the Wendy Williams show and you're touring, but like on a regular day.
I would like to say that I'm one of those songwriters that I can't let a day go by without writing something, and I always got to be working. But truth is, I'm much lazier than that. So I mean, when I come out with a record, there's a mad rush to do a lot of stuff. There's a lot of promotion, and I might be gone from home for quite a bit. But then there's like this downtime. So I guess there's two different realities. There's the reality when I'm actually promoting a record, like now, my day would start more often than not in a city other than home, and I'd have to wake up early and go to a radio station and interview and talk to people, and somewhere in there try to work out, or try to take care of my body and eat right and drink water and all that stuff. And then I usually go to bed pretty early. I don't really stay out that late. When I'm not promoting anything, I'll wake up later. I will make my breakfast, and usually somewhere there's some mindless television involved, usually reality shows that I'm probably too embarrassed to tell you the names of, and some online poker, and I'll have a thought in my mind, I should probably write a song, but it won't happen. And I'll probably go see a movie with my girl or India, and then I'll be like, oh, it's bedtime. So that's usually what my life is like when I'm not promoting something.
Okay, that's interesting. Any last words? You should, plug your Twitter, Facebook.
Yeah, please follow me at Twitter. That's at eBenet, EBENET. Come to my website, ericbenet.net, and keep up with my schedule, my touring schedule, international and domestic, and you can buy yourself some Chocolate Legs draws. We got our Chocolate Legs panties on ericbenet.net. We got some other Eric Benet stuff that you should have in your life, like a nice Eric Benet poster. That's a nice item. And if you like an artist's music, please support that artist. Please buy their CD if you download it. When that artist comes to your town, please go see them. Please support them, and we'll keep making music for y'all.
Okay.